You are welcome to Literature Hub 247. This is a free online literature class. If you are new on this channel, just click on the subscribe button and the bell icon. That gives you access to all our videos, and whenever any video is produced, you are going to be notified. This particular video is about an African play titled The Lion and the Jewel. The Lion and the Jewel is written by Wole Soyinka. In this video, we are going to discuss the WAEC 2023 questions on the text, that is, the answers to the questions as expected by WAEC. That is, the video follows the guidelines of WAEC in answering the questions. But before we go into the classroom, I would advise that you watch one of my videos titled How to Answer Literature and English Questions in WAEC and NECO. How to answer literature and English questions in WAEC and NECO. If you watch that video, you will understand what we are going to discuss in this classroom. Just send in the message box that to send you the link. That is, if you have not watched the video, write in the message box now that I should send you the link to how to answer literature and English WAEC, literature and English in WAEC and NECO. How to answer literature and English in WAEC and NECO. You know, it is very important because there are new dimensions into answering literature and English questions, especially in WAEC now. And if you don't follow that guidelines, it may be dangerous. If you don't follow the guidelines set out by WAEC. So that is why I said that you should watch that video before we go into this class. That is, before you watch this video, you must watch that video. Now let's go into the classroom. The Lion and the Jewel by Wole Soyinka. The first question says, examine the encounter between Lakunle and Sidi in The Lion and the Jewel. Examine the encounter between Lakunle and Sidi in The Lion and the Jewel. Now the answer. The first thing is to relate the question to the theme of the play. The major theme in the play is the conflict between modern and traditional values. Lakunle represents modernism, while Sidi represents traditional values. That is the first part. The next one is character identification. Lakunle is the school teacher and is a major character in the play. He is nearly 23 years old and dressed that morning in an old-style English suit, threadbare but not ragged. He wears a short tie and wears 23-inch button trousers and black-white tennis shoes. He uses bombastic and flamboyant language, which makes him ridiculous to Sidi. Sidi is the village beauty and the bone of contention in the play. Lakunle and Baruka, the king, want to marry Sidi. So we have identified the characters there. The first stage is relation to theme. The next one is character identification. That is, the characters that are mentioned in the question needs to be identified. Now their encounter. This is the mainstream of the question. Lakunle pursues her that morning, but she insists on the payment of her bride price as the tradition demands. She is naive and eventually seduced and deflowered by Baruka. She tied a wrapper around her chest and a pail of water on her head. Lakunle is teaching arithmetic to his students and leaves the class when he sights Sidi. He tries to persuade Sidi not to leave her chest bare and carry water on her head. Lakunle is against Sidi's traditional values. That is why she rejects Sidi's insistence on the payment of bride price. Remember that the bride price is the bone of contention. That's drama. The impact, that is the next stage, the impact of the return of the stranger on their relationship. While that goes on, The news of the arrival of the stranger who returns from Lagos with a magazine with Sidi's pictures was brought to Sidi by the girls. This news excites Sidi, who leads a performance mimicking the stranger from Lagos. She forces Lakunle to join the performance. In the course of doing that, Baruka appears and threatens to punish Lakunle for trying to steal the village maidenhead, quote unquote. Now, the significance of the encounter. The encounter between Lakunle and Sidi tells us more about the characters of Kunle. That is, we know more about the characters of Kunle from the encounter with Sidi, that is from Lakunle's encounter with Sidi. We're able to know how lightly he takes the culture of his people. You know, Sidi is insisting on the payment of the bride price, and Lakunle is not taking it as something that is important. Lakunle's behavior and the use of language in that scene present him as a ridiculous character. When Baruka sees Sidi's beautiful pictures on the front page of the magazine, he nurses the ambition of marrying her. That is the first question. And the second question is, show why Baruka opposes the construction of the railway in the Lion and the Jewel. Show why Baruka opposes the construction of the railway in the Lion and the Jewel. The first thing to do, as usual, is relation to theme. The main theme of the play is conflict between tradition and modernity. Baruka represents tradition while Lakunle represents modernity. The railway is a symbol of modernity and it increases the disagreement between Baruka and Lakunle. Now the character identification. The character identification, that is, you identify the characters mentioned in the question. So those are the guidelines that are set by WAEC that candidates need to understand them very well. Baruka is the Baale of Lujile. He is 62 years old and a very cunning character. That is why Lakunle calls him the fox. Sadiku refers to him as the lion. He is polygamous and a traditionalist. Now, constructing the railway line. It is when Lakunle tried to establish the fact that Baruka is cunning that he recounts the construction of the railway. A while Sophia stands with his map studying it, a foreman, prisoners, and 2 warders are also at the site, stopping the project. That is the next stage. Baruka quickly runs to the site in the company of a beautiful girl. When one of his wrestlers tells him about it, the girl carried a calabash full of money and kola nuts. Baruka reasons for opposing the construction of the railway line. Baruka doesn't want the railway to be constructed because he doesn't want to lose his authority over his people. That is, those are the reasons why he is opposing the construction of the railway line. He also doesn't want any civilization that will take away his properties, wives, and concubines. Baruka then gives the surveyor lots of money, hens, and a goat. The latter then stops the project and lies that the ground is not capable of holding the weight of the rail engine. Baruka then entertains the surveyor afterwards and he packs his load and lives with his people, that is the surveyor. So that's how Baruka stopped the construction of the rail line in the village, that is in the village. Note, the prints in red ink are not part of the answers. They only serve as guides as set out by WAEC. That is, those prints in red ink, like this, they are not part of your questions. That is, when you answer your own question, you don't need to write Baruka reason for opposing the construction of railway, stopping the project, or character identification, relation to team. You don't need to write all those ones. I just put them there so that you understand the guidelines, how you are expected to answer the questions. So we have done justice to the question. And as I said earlier, if you are new on this channel, try and click on the subscribe button, like this video, share it on the social media platform. You are free to do that. You can also invite your friends to join us. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask your question. Just send it through the message box, and the questions are going to be attended to. And if you have any question also, as I said, if you have any question, you can ask your question. If you have any comment, you can also send your comment through the message box. Let's meet in the next class.